we come to the city of Caesarea. But let's talk a bit about the Roman period. When the Romans came here, they didn't know anything about the people here, about the culture, about the way of life, about their attitude, about anything, the language. They don't know. Romans say that we don't know. Big guts. But at that time, they thought that maybe if we pick up a local from here, this area, and give him money and power and support, he will become what they call it at that time, our client king. So they picked up a man. His name was Antipater. Antipater was from a city in the south of this land called Idumea. He was Idumean. But Antipater was not really a Jew. To be the king here, you have to be a Jew. He was assassinated when he became a king after that. The one who came after him was a young boy, his son, and it was King Herod the Great. King Herod the Great, to summon his personality like some of the scholars did, he started his life as a fox. He reigned like a lion, but he died like a dog. Why? In a very smart and sneaky way, he became a king. He ruled like a lion. He was a strong king. No one was like King Herod the Great. But when he died suffering from gout. A lot of food. In the time of King Herod, here, he was on behalf of the Roman Empire. The Romans didn't like him. He was right here in the Middle East, and the Middle East did not like him people. He was the king of Jews, and Jewish people did not like him. His boss was Mark Antony, but Mark Antony's lover, Cleopatra, did not like him. Do you know what that means when your boss's lover don't like you?
Saying it to Rodian.
That is a trouble. But come to this place here, to think about that place here. He had a dream. He forgot about all the power and everything that he had, and then he came here, and that was his dream. Why? Because when King Herod died, building this beautiful city, he left a big shoe to fit anyone. None of his sons, his brothers, no one. The Romans were in a bit of a problem. We don't have anyone like Herod the Great. What shall we do? And this is when governors and procurators start coming and being sent into here. One of them is the well-known for us is Pontius Pilate, the pointed spear. Herod the Great had a dream. I want to build a Roman city on the coastal plain. So coming into here, he took advantage of this place and he built a city calling it Caesarea to honor the name of Caesar at that time. And why? Because in the time of Herod the Great, the Roman Empire was two empires or two powers. The power of Octavian and the power of Mark Antony. But when Mark Antony died, Octavian received the divine title and he became to be known as Augustus Caesar. So Augustus Caesar loved Herod the Great, gave him money and power, and this is where Herod became really big and very important. Here he built his city. He would like to build a Roman city. He started by building the culture even. He brought the culture to here. He started by building this theater. One of the first theaters ever built in this land. We're talking about 1,600 seats in here. But when you come to this theater at that time, there will be a block in here, blocking this area, so that when the people are here, the wind will not bother them from the sea, and then they'll be heard by everyone. Because they don't have loudspeakers and microphones or anything, and they will stand simply right in the center here. And when they speak with the surrounding, it will be very easy. They will all be able to listen to their voice. But do not be confused with how the locals come here and they say, oh, what a nice amphitheater. That's not an amphitheater. That's a normal theater. How? The amphitheater are the two semicircular shaped theaters connected together, and the arena is in the center. But this is a normal theater. We have a stage, amatorios, an orchestra, or a normal theater. But still, that's not enough. I need more. Every 4 years, there were something called Olympic Games. He started something called Caesarean Games. He was the first one who invented something that we don't have, that we still have it until today. It's the bronze and the silver medal. Because of him, we still have it until today. So with this, he brought the attention of all these athletes who are less qualified, who will not have the chance to get all gold medals, but they start coming here to the Caesarean Games. He brought the culture, the eye of everyone. being on the Mediterranean, it's the window to Europe. I'm going to build a port. He started by building a port, one of the largest ports that the land have ever seen. He took an advantage of the newly invested concrete and cement, and he started pouring them in huge wooden beams, bless you, putting them on the water, one on top of the other, start sinking, creating a large wave break, and build his harbor. But the late Roman period here did not show anything interesting. The only time that things were different in here was during the Byzantine period, where most of the culture that was already Roman, adopted from Greek, became as Christian. The columns, the Corinthian-style capitals, the churches, everything was from Roman period, became into Byzantine Christian period. During that era, you see churches were replacing these temples built by Herod the Great. The end of the Byzantine period was the beginning of the Muslim period, but that continued until the Crusaders came here and took Caesarea. The end of Caesarea was once again by a Muslim leader. His name is Tahir Baybars, the Mamelukes, who destroyed the Crusaders period, and that continues from that time until what we have the archaeology until today. So we have a huge amount of archaeology here in Caesarea, the Roman city. And it's one of 11 fortresses and one of 11 places they were built. What's hidden under the modern Caesarea today is even more that we see today, but we see today the most important of Caesarea. So that is Caesarea, that is the theater. We remember that in Caesarea, we have two events in the Bible mentioned in the book of Acts. The first one, we talk about Cornelius, the Roman centurion, that he asked for Peter from Joppa, where we are going to have our lunch. Joppa is 1 hour drive away from here, and Peter was in the house of Simon the tanner, when he had also a dream, seeing a vision, cut and eat from different kind of animals. This is also the place where Paul was kept in prison for 2 years in Caesarea Maritima here. This is also the place where the great revolt stemmed out from in the year 68 AD that led to the destruction of a temple in Jerusalem. It all stemmed out from here where we are standing. So Caesarea is a very important Roman city built by Herod the Great, and it was actually history. We shall start our tour. I'll point out for you some of the things, and then I will give you time to look around and take as much pictures as you want. Good? Okay. Now, be careful please. I'm going up from here through the archaeology. As you can see, it's getting very crowded, so stay there with me for a bit, and then I'll give you time to look at it.
Someone left from the Roman time.